Jen from Fabulous Paper Emporium. So glad that you can join us again for a wonderful Saturday of fabulous card making. This is a card. Now, not this. This is what we're going to need to make this card. But it's not just a card. It is a pop-up box card that will still fit in an envelope. I know I've just blown your mind, but that's okay. This was a card that I've made. Oh my gosh. It feels like it's been a long time since I've made this card. It was one of the first ones, and I was just like so in awe of the fact that, you know, with a little bit of paper, a little bit of, you know, ephemera or, you know, decorations, that I could actually make something like this. And it would kind of like was blowing my mind at the time. So I'm so happy that I can share it with you. Maybe you've seen it before. I've decided to do a Christmas version because I think from here on out, it's pretty much going to be Christmas all the time. But not just cards. It's going to be, I think we're going to do a couple of folios, little albums, things that you can give as gifts besides like cards, stuff like that. So anyways, we've got a lot of good things coming. So this is, and I've used, of course, my favorite paper, my favorite paper right now, which is the A Lumberjack Christmas, I believe is what it's called. Sorry. Yeah, A Lumberjack Christmas. So anything with the lumberjacks, you know, I'm all about, because it's got that buffalo plaid, which I can't get enough of. And that's by Echo Park. So have that in the store as well as some stamps to go with that. So here is, ta-da, the pop-up box card. And we've got some clear, I've used transparencies that I've just sliced into 1/4-inch strips. I don't know if you can see that, but that is really what is holding on to those little stars, as well as Santa and his sleigh. I put some stars in the back, use some of the stickers, as well as the stamp that comes with the, doesn't come with, but is part of the Lumberjack Christmas collection. And yeah, so that is, this is where if you wanted to write something, you could always have, this could be a white piece of paper or cardstock, or you can put white on top. It's completely up to you. When we go through the sizes, I'll let you know what you can do either or. But as I said before, this actually fits into an envelope because it folds up quite nicely. You just simply push it down like that. And I even have an envelope to prove that it does fit in said envelope. So, of course, it helps if you've got the envelope the right way. And there we have it. Ta-da! Envelope, card in envelope, ready to be sent. So yeah, so pretty amazing. I know. I'm almost a magician too. So there we have it. Anyhow, so we'll go through the cardstock, the measurements, the designer paper that I used, everything. I will show you how to put it together, and you too can amaze your friends and family with this stunning card. I'm going to set it aside for right now. Basically what I used today in terms of tools is I had a scoreboard that I used, as well as my paper trimmer. Again, those two things, not essential. Ruler, scissors, pencil will do you just fine, as well as a bone folder. I would suggest there's other things that you can use besides a bone folder to score. That's my go-to tool. So if you're going to buy one thing, buy a bone folder, invest in one, and then you can certainly wait on the other tools. We also used, as I said, some cardstock, some transparency sheets. I had these, I think I got them at Staples, I want to say. So anything that's kind of transparent will work. I don't know if vellum is going to be sturdy enough. I've never tried it with vellum, so I would probably go the transparency route. And then that's about it. That's kind of all you need. There's no real specialized tools. If you want to stamp, then you obviously need some stamps and whatnot, ink, that kind of thing. But like I said, I used 2 of the stickers from the collection, and then I stamped this, and I stamped Santa's sleigh as well. And I fussy cutted. I fussy cut. I fussy cut this, and very impressed with my handiwork, let me just say. So I'm getting better. And so, yeah, so we're going to start. I'll go through the measurements first. So I used black as my base, and I'm going to use red this time. So we're just going to change it up a little bit. And so the red base, this part is 8.5 by 5. And we're going to score this together. This piece is 3 by 3, and that creates the little piece on the inside that this guy is stuck to give it a little bit of dimension. Then we have some designer paper. So we are going to do 4 pieces. There's 4 here. 4 pieces, and these are at 1 3/4. Sorry, my tongue got totally tied there. 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. You'll need 4 pieces. I did my best to kind of center the stockings. You certainly don't have to do that. Just be mindful of the fact that because it's only 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, just keep in mind the size when you're picking your paper, because you don't want a pattern that's too big, that's not really going to read very well, as opposed to, something that's a little bit smaller. There was a little bit of more waste than what you would normally have because I did do my best to center these. So just keep that in mind. That's all. The next piece that we have here, this goes on the back. So you have 2 options here. I cut my designer paper 1 3/4 by 4 3/4. I'm not going to be putting a white piece on top. I'm not going to sign it or anything like that. It's just going to be kind of part of my gift. So I'm going to leave that size like that. If you wanted to sign the back, then put this as a white sheet of paper, or you can layer another white sheet on top of this. If you are going to do that option, that last option, which is the white piece at the back, you're going to want to cut that at 1.5 by 4.5. And then the very last pieces we have, these go on the bottom. And there's 3 pieces, and they're cut at 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. And I just used the back side of this paper just because, change it up, I didn't really want to waste any more paper, which really was the catalyst for that. Okay, so we're going to move all these things aside, and I'm going to get out my scoreboard, and we're going to do some scoring. So for the box, you're going to have your 8.5 across the top, and we are going to score at 2, 4, 6, and 8. So we've got 2, 4, 6, and 8. Then we're going to flip it around with the 5-inch across the top. And at this point, we're going to go to the 3, and we're going to score all the way through. And so now we have somewhat of a grid pattern. We've got the smaller pieces at the top, the longer pieces at the bottom. So already it's kind of making some sense. Okay, I did forget, if for those who perhaps are using scoreboards and trimmers and things, you will need a pair of scissors. And the scissors, what we're going to do is we're going to cut. So this is basically where the top panels, these little panels come up, are at the top. So this small piece that was scored at 8 inches, so there's a little 1/2-inch tab there. We're going to cut this piece out, but we're going to leave the bottom one because we need something to connect our box. So we're going to cut along the middle score line. And then we're just going to chop this off. Done. Oh, I didn't kind of overextended myself there. There we go. But we're going to, it doesn't matter really. We're going to, I like mitering the corners just so that it gives a little bit of a cleaner look. And then we're also going to slice between each one of these, the top boxes. So again, these are the boxes. They will measure 2 by 2 right now, but these are where your 1 3/4 and by 1 3/4 are going to go. So we're going to slice each one just to the score line that separates the top from the bottom. There we go. And then one more. There. And then we're going to go ahead and burnish our folds. The only fold that you're not going to worry about burnishing is this top piece. This one, if you do, it's not a big deal. I've done it before, but because you have this back piece that is going to basically hold everything stable, if you fold it, it's not the end of the world. That will totally be fine once you put your card stock on the back. That will totally be fine. So I'm going to leave that one. I tend to leave the tab to the back side. So I'm going to right now fold and burnish all of these little tabs. So remember, I'm going to stop at the third one as my paper runs away from me. Then we're going to go around this way. And again, just making sure that everything is lining up nicely so that we don't have any wonky boxes. There we go. Gotta burnish these. You really want them nice and folded. Okay, so that 1, 2, 3. There we go. You still need to do this one. And we're done. Perfect. So now we're going to connect our box. So this is why we left that tab there, so that you can just connect the box there. Up to you what you want to use. You can use some liquid glue. You can use some score tape. You can use a combination of both. It is completely up to you. For today, I'm going to just use some of the score tape. And I probably am going to put a little bit of liquid glue on that just to add, give me a measure of security. So we're going to glue on top of the score tape and a little bit of extra. And we're going to wrap this around. You can lay it flat and then you just, because ultimately it is going to lay flat. So I just lay it flat and that way I've got everything lined up properly. Hopefully you can see that. Never sure if I'm in frame or at least in the middle. So long as you can see me, that's all that matters. Well, my hands. And then I'm just going to stick my bone folder inside. You can always just lay it flat and make sure it's well and adhered. Oh, see, I just folded that backwards. That's not where I wanted it to go. That's okay. Like I said, it's all going to be good. You can go ahead and decorate your pieces right now. I will do that before I stick that middle piece in. So this piece is going on the back. We've got our 4 pieces. I'm going to do all of the plaid ones for these, and then the red one is going to go behind. So that's what I'm going to do here, just with some glue. And do your best to get it in the middle so you've got a nice little frame around the outside. There we go. And nothing is ever going to be 100% perfect. So do not stress if it's a little bit, if you notice it, you're probably honestly going to be the only one who does, because it's handmade, it's handcrafted, it's one of a kind. So it's, you know, perfect is not necessarily always what we're aiming for. You know, it's Oh, oh, saved it. You know, we do our absolute very best. You know, we look at some of the things that I've created over the years and are the first cards that I've ever made, and I look back at them now and I'm like, oh, but you know, the people who received them over the years, they know that I did my best and I was working hard at it, and it's appreciated. So do not worry about it. And it's one of those things that practice makes perfect. You get used to it. You learn the tips and the tricks, and I try to pass that on as much as I possibly can. Certainly the things that I've learned over the years, the things that I'm still learning now. So it's always a never-ending learning process. There we go. Put that there. And then the last one is going to go right here. Okie dokie. And we're almost done here. Okay, I'm going to put this upside down because otherwise my big old head will be in frame and nobody wants that. There. So that's what we have so far. Already it's coming together. And then I like this plaid check thingamajigger that's going on the bottom, which coordinates beautifully with all the other pieces. And you can lay that flat. You can certainly decorate the bottom, the underside if you wanted to. Completely up to you. It's not kind of in your face, so to speak. So I haven't bothered decorating them, but you certainly could. You could write your message on those too, if you wanted to. Little secret message. That's always fun. Just making sure that I'm putting these on the right place. And then we'll put our middle piece on. My glue just stopped coming out. That's really weird. Okay, we're going to put our middle piece in, and then I will show you how to attach the transparencies to the card. There. See how cute is that? I absolutely love this paper. This paper is so, I don't know, so Canadian, so happy, so I love it. I just love it. Oh, the one thing I forgot to do is we forgot to score this. My bad. So just take out your ruler, your scoreboard, whichever. What you're going to do is, this is a 3.5 by 3.5 piece. So what we're going to do is we're going to score at 2.5. And then we're going to flip it around 180 degrees. So we're going to do the opposite side. So I scored right here before. Now we're going to do 2.5 again on the opposite side. So I have these two flaps that basically fold in like that. That's going to be the mechanism, or the piece that holds all the transparencies. Well, most of them. Anyways, depending on how you decide that you wanted to decorate it. I know yesterday when I was making this card, I thought, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we had like a bit of a moon? Well, I had the moon there and it looked weird. So I'm still working on that concept because I really like the idea of Santa's sleigh kind of over the moon, or, you know, that kind of thing, that silhouette. But I went with the stars instead. So that's what I did for there. But you can do whatever you want. It really is. This is just my take on it. So if you decide to make it, I would really, really love to see your take on it. And, you know, tell me how you made this your own. Because you certainly don't have to take, you know, my design advice. Sometimes it's questionable. So I'm going to use some more of the score tape for the two sides, and I'm going to leave that one for now. So basically what you're doing is you're going to slip this on the inside, and then I'm going to lay this side down just so that I have a bit of a better vantage point for making sure that this is in the middle. So it's down as far. You don't want it coming up. I don't know if you can see that. I don't want it sticking up past here because you really want this to be hidden. So I've got it pretty much lined up, I think, where I want it. Yep. And then I'm going to take my bone folder, stick that in there, make sure that that's nice and adhered. And then I'm just going to grab the other side of the score tape without looking and peel that off. Oh, come on. There we go. And then for this, the other side is actually going to connect to the other side of the box. So you're going to end up with something that looks like this. So mine is a little bit forward. If you wanted to push it back a little bit, that's fine. But again, like it's not meant to be like 100% precise, because that kind of thing is not possible when you're doing this particular card. So, okay. So we've got our card well on its way, and I could do some stamping. This is the stamp set that I've been using and playing around with. This is the Warm and Cozy Wishes, I believe is what it's called. Sorry, bear with me just one second as I confirm. Yep, Warm and Cozy Wishes stamp set. And this is again part of the A Lumberjack Christmas. So we've got a wonderful reindeer. We've got a few different sentiments that we could easily stamp. I used the We Wish You a Merry Christmas. There is, the most wonderful time of the year. There's It's Christmas Eve, Santa Claus is coming to town. Just want to drink hot chocolate and watch Christmas movies is this one. Holly Jolly, Wish You a Merry Christmas. This is the one I've used before. Sending Warm and Cozy Wishes this holiday season. So lots of beautiful stamps, and then you have some of the other design elements. So what you could do, and what I did before, is I've used this stamp. I fussy cut that, which you don't need to see me do. But basically, once you stamp it, then you obviously there's no intention here of cutting every little last detail out. It's a bit of a shadow kind of effect. So, because the reindeer, the sleigh, the reins, there's no way you're going to get that cut out. Well, I mean, perhaps there is. It would be very, very thin at that point. So anyways, I digress. So I'm going to show you kind of what I did with the transparencies. So with the transparencies, you can measure if you want to. I'm not going to. I'm going to kind of cut them at random lengths, and I'm going to cut them as I go. I've used glue. It just takes a lot longer to dry. So I have these glue dots that were left over from another project, and I'm going to stick them on the back of the star, push the backing off, and then you're going to try and make sure that your transparency is kind of like in the middle, so it doesn't stick up past where your design is. And then, so the star is facing upwards now, and I want to put the next glue dot, depending on where you're putting it, but I'm going to put the next glue dot facing up. And this way, when I go to apply it, I'm going to apply it to the back side and just apply a little bit of pressure forward. And there you have it. So I think I'm going to put in a couple of stars. I have another piece over here that's kind of cut already. And then I'm just going to repeat this process. And you can put your sentiment there if you wanted to. I don't know if I've just said that. Well, I just said it, but I don't know if I've already said it. You can put your sentiment on the stamp it if you'd like, or even the sticker. Put that on the transparency. I'm sorry, transparency. If you're using a sticker, I would definitely make sure that the back is not sticky anymore, because when you go to fold it, and it does fold like this, when you go to fold it, if it comes in contact with one of these back pieces, it may just stick and it may be like that forever. I don't know. I can't make any guarantees at that point. So if you are using a sticker to do your, floaty bits, then definitely make sure that it's not sticky on the back anymore. And you can simply do that by, if you wanted to, put it on, stick it on a piece of cardstock and then fussy cut it around. And you can do that. Or if you have, I've got this powder tool by EK Tools, and it works well, and you can use that. You can, and I have maybe been known to do this from time to time, is just put the sticker on my pants and then pull it off a bunch of times. The problem is that sometimes the dog fur comes off with it, so you want to be careful about that. If you have any animals, you may not want to. That might not be the recommended method for unsticking your stickers. So just to keep that in mind as a side note from me to you. And so yeah, so you keep on going with the little tabs. You make it as full, or do whatever you'd like to do. So there we have it. Our two absolutely fabulous pop-up box cards that do fit in an envelope. So it's beautiful. It's perfect. It's perfect for those little cards that you want to send. And that's kind of how it folds. If you wanted to, you could certainly, like I said, do that. You can decorate the backs of those, or the undersides, but I don't necessarily think it's necessary, because it doesn't get seen a lot. And if you're putting the card in the actual envelope, I would definitely make sure, oops, that kind of got a little bit off there. If you are putting it in an envelope, this is how I would put it in. And this way the person hopefully will figure out that it actually is a box that stands up all by itself. So thank you so much for joining me here today, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening for you. I would really love to hear from you. If you have any questions, comments, if you make this, I would really, really love to see it. So please find me on Facebook, find me on Instagram. I'm slowly getting into TikTok. We'll have to get my 11-year-old needs to probably help me with that. But that's okay. I will let you know when I'm on TikTok. I can't believe I can't believe I'm saying those words. But please do find me, post your pictures, share your pictures, give it a big old thumbs up if you really like it, and subscribe if you don't want to miss any future videos. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great day, week, weekend, wherever it is. I hope you have a good one. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.